The world softens as you awaken to this moment. There's no rush here, no urgency pulling at your awareness. You find yourself standing at the edge of something ancient and welcoming, a forest that seems to have been waiting for you, patient as stone, gentle as breath. The air is cool against your skin, carrying with it the scent of earth and growing things. Before you, an opening in the trees reveals itself, a natural archway formed by two towering oaks whose branches intertwine overhead like welcoming arms. The light that filters through is different here, softer, greener, as though the very air has been touched by the emerald canopy above. You take your first step forward, and the forest receives you. The path beneath your feet is carpeted with moss, thick and yielding, cushioning each footfall with surprising tenderness. It feels almost like walking on clouds. This soft green blanket that covers the forest floor. The moss is cool and slightly damp, alive with the morning's dew, and it muffles your steps into whispered silence. Small mushrooms cluster at the edges of the path, their caps ranging from cream to gentle amber, and they seem to mark the way forward, like lanterns made of earth and light. As you move deeper into the forest, the world behind you begins to fade, not disappearing, but simply becoming less important, less present in your awareness. Here, in this emerald sanctuary, time moves differently. It stretches and softens, becoming as elastic as the moss beneath your feet. The trees surrounding you are ancient beyond measure. Their trunks rise like pillars in a cathedral of nature, rough bark textured with age and decorated with patches of lichen in shades of sage and silver. Some trunks are so wide that it would take many people, arms outstretched, to encircle them. They stand as quiet witnesses to countless seasons, countless cycles of growth and rest, and their presence is deeply calming, solid, enduring, peaceful. Shafts of light penetrate the canopy above, creating columns of golden-green illumination that shift almost imperceptibly as leaves move in the gentlest of breezes. Particles of pollen and tiny seeds drift through these light beams, floating lazily downward, like snow in a snow globe, suspended in their slow descent. The interplay of light and shadow creates patterns on the forest floor that seem to breathe with life, expanding and contracting as branches sway far above. You pause for a moment, simply standing, simply breathing. The air here is remarkably pure, carrying an almost sweet quality, the mingled fragrance of cedar and pine, of damp earth and growing ferns, of something floral you cannot quite name, but that speaks to a deep, forgotten memory of peace. The sound of water reaches your ears, not loud, but persistent and soothing. It is the gentle music of a stream somewhere ahead, and you follow its call, allowing it to guide your footsteps along the mossy path. The moss gives way occasionally to smooth stones, river rocks worn round by ancient currents, their surfaces cool and pleasant beneath your feet. As you walk, you notice the smaller details of this emerald world. Ferns unfurl at the bases of trees, their fronds creating layers of green upon green, each shade slightly different from the last. Some are the bright, almost luminous green of new growth, while others are deeper, richer, the color of forests in old paintings. The ferns move slightly in the air, swaying as though keeping time to music only they can hear. ivy climbs many of the tree trunks, its leaves forming intricate patterns against the bark. Where the sun touches the ivy, the leaves seem to glow from within, their green turning almost translucent, revealing the delicate architecture of veins that carry life through each leaf. Here and there, tiny white flowers nestle among the ivy, their petals soft as silk, their scent subtle and clean. The sound of water grows gradually closer, and with it comes a change in the air, a coolness, a moisture that touches your skin like the gentlest mist. The path curves around an enormous tree, its roots creating natural steps down a slight incline. And suddenly you find yourself standing beside a stream. The water is crystalline, so clear you can see every pebble on its bed, every smooth stone over which it flows. The stream is perhaps 10 feet across, moving with unhurried grace over and around obstacles in its path. Where the water slides over larger rocks, it creates small cascades, miniature waterfalls that sing in different tones, some high and bright, others deeper, more resonant. Together, they create a symphony of water music, a sound that seems to wash away any remaining tension from your body. You settle onto a large, flat rock beside the stream, its surface surprisingly smooth and sun-warmed despite the shade. The rock seems perfectly placed, as though the forest itself has provided this seat for travelers who need to rest, to simply be. From this vantage point, you watch the water flow. It moves with such purpose, yet such ease, finding the path of least resistance, curving around stones, pooling briefly in shallow places before continuing on its eternal journey. The surface catches the light in 1,000 different ways, sparkling where it tumbles over rocks, smooth and mirror-like in calmer sections, rippling in gentle patterns where the current runs steady and true. Small fish dart beneath the surface, their scales catching the light in brief flashes of silver and gold. They move as one, these tiny creatures, turning and shifting in perfect synchronization, creating living patterns in the water. Their presence is somehow comforting, another sign of the abundant life that fills this place. Across the stream, a deer emerges from between the trees. She is delicate and graceful, her coat a soft brown that blends perfectly with the forest around her. She moves to the water's edge and lowers her head to drink, completely at ease, untroubled by your presence. Her reflection wavers in the stream, doubled and dreamlike. After a long moment, she raises her head, water droplets falling from her muzzle like scattered diamonds, and looks directly at you. Her eyes are dark and deep, holding a kind of wisdom, a gentle acknowledgement. Then, as quietly as she appeared, she turns and steps back into the forest, becoming one with the green shadows. The soft sound of distant rain begins to reach your ears. Not the rain falling here, but somewhere deeper in the forest, a gentle percussion against leaves far away. It is a soothing sound, rhythmic and constant, like a lullaby played by the forest itself. You rise from your resting place and continue along the path, which now follows the stream for a while before gradually diverging, leading you further into the emerald depths. The moss beneath your feet grows even thicker here, and small flowering plants appear among the green, tiny blooms in white and pale purple, their faces turned upward toward the distant canopy. The trees begin to change as you walk deeper, Among the oaks and cedars, you now find trees with smooth, silver-white bark that seems to glow with its own internal light. Their leaves tremble in the slightest breeze, creating a sound like whispered secrets, like distant applause, soft and continuous. The silver trees grow in groves, and walking among them feels like moving through a dream, to a place where the boundary between earth and sky has grown thin and permeable. In a clearing ahead, you discover something extraordinary, a circle of massive stones, each taller than you are, covered entirely in moss so thick and lush it looks like green velvet. The stones stand in perfect formation, creating a space that feels sacred, timeless. The center of the circle is filled with wildflowers, golden blooms that seem to capture and hold the sunlight, making the clearing glow with warm radiance. You step into the circle and find its center, where the flowers grow tallest. The scent of them surrounds you, sweet and honeyed, mixed with the earthier fragrances of moss and stone. Above, the canopy is opened just enough to allow a clear view of the sky, which is shifting now from the blue of day toward the deeper hues of approaching evening. You lower yourself to sit among the flowers, and they bend gently around you, accommodating your presence with easy grace. From this position, lying back against the soft earth, you can see the full circle of stones surrounding you, and above them, the ring of trees, and above that, the opening sky. It feels as though you are looking up from the bottom of a well, but a well filled with beauty and light rather than darkness. Time passes. How much? You cannot say. The light continues its slow shift, becoming richer, more golden. The greens of the forest deepen, becoming more saturated, more vivid. Shadows lengthen and soften, pooling like liquid between the trees. Eventually, you rise and continue your journey. The path leads you out of the stone circle and deeper still, into sections of the forest where the trees grow so close together that their branches form a continuous canopy overhead, blocking out the sky entirely. Yet even here there is light, a soft, diffused illumination that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once, as though the forest itself is gently luminous. The air grows cooler as evening approaches, carrying with it new scents. The smell of night-blooming flowers, the rich aroma of earth preparing for darkness, the clean scent of coming dew. The sounds of the forest shift subtly as well. The daytime birds grow quiet, and in their place, you begin to hear the first tentative calls of evening creatures, the soft hoot of an owl somewhere in the distance, the rustle of small animals beginning their nocturnal activities. And then, as the light fades further, the forest begins to reveal its greatest magic. At first, you think you're imagining it, a faint glow among the roots of a nearby tree. But as you draw closer, you see that it is real. A patch of moss, no larger than your hand, is emitting a soft, ethereal light, a blue-green bioluminescence that pulses gently, like a slow heartbeat, like breathing. You look around and realize that this glowing moss is everywhere, though you hadn't noticed it in the daylight. It traces the contours of tree roots, highlights fallen logs, creates constellations of light on the forest floor. The effect is breathtaking, as though the earth itself is full of captured stars, as though the boundary between forest and night sky has dissolved completely. You continue walking, and with each step, more wonders reveal themselves. Mushrooms growing on ancient stumps begin to glow with soft purple and amber light. The edges of leaves shimmer with collected dew that catches and refracts the bioluminescence, creating halos of light around every surface. The stream you crossed earlier, now visible again through the trees, has become a ribbon of reflected glow, its surface carrying the lights like floating lanterns. Then the fireflies emerge. They begin as one or two, winking into existence like tiny falling stars. But within minutes, there are dozens, then hundreds, then what seems like thousands, creating a galaxy of moving lights throughout the forest. They drift lazily through the air, their glow pulsing in irregular rhythms, each one keeping its own time. The effect is hypnotic, mesmerizing, a slow dance of light that seems choreographed by some invisible conductor. You find yourself in a grove where the glowing moss covers nearly everything: the ground, the trees, fallen branches, even stones. The light it produces is soft and steady, creating a gentle illumination that seems to emanate from below, casting unusual shadows upward. In this grove, a fallen tree has become a garden of luminescent fungi, each one a different shape and size, ranging from tiny pinpricks of light to larger formations that glow like small moons. You sit on a cushion of moss near the fallen tree, surrounded by this wonderland of natural light. The glow is strong enough to see by, but soft enough that it never disturbs the peaceful darkness. It feels like sitting inside a living lantern, protected and held by the forest's gentle radiance. The sound of rain returns, closer now. You feel the first drops begin to fall, not a heavy rain, but a gentle mist that drifts down through the canopy like liquid silk. The rain catches the bioluminescent light, each droplet becoming a tiny prism, a falling star. The sound of rain on leaves is soft and rhythmic, creating a percussion that seems to match the pulsing of the glowing moss, the blinking of the fireflies, the beating of your own heart. The rain is warm and pleasant on your skin. You tilt your face upward, letting the droplets touch your cheeks, your closed eyelids, your lips. The water tastes clean and pure, carrying the essence of the forest, minerals from stone, sweetness from flowers, the green taste of growing things. As you sit in the rain, surrounded by light, you feel yourself becoming part of the forest. The boundary between you and this place grows soft, permeable. You are breathing with the trees, glowing with the moss, falling with the rain. There is no separation, no division. Only this moment, this place, this profound and perfect peace. The rain gradually softens, becoming even lighter until it is merely a presence in the air, a humidity, a promise. The clouds that brought it drift on, and through gaps in the canopy, you catch glimpses of the night sky. Stars are emerging, bright and clear, and they seem to echo the lights of the forest below, creating mirrors of luminescence above and beneath. You find yourself lying back on the soft moss, looking up through the layers of glowing forest to the emerging stars. The moss beneath you is like the most comfortable bed, conforming to your body, supporting you with gentle firmness. The air is cool, but not cold, perfect against your skin. Every breath you take is effortless, natural, slow. The sounds of the night forest surround you, the distant call of an owl, the soft rustling of leaves, the occasional plop of a late raindrop falling from a leaf to the ground below, the gentle chorus of insects, creating their nighttime symphony. These sounds don't disturb the quiet. Instead, they deepen it, giving texture to the silence, making the peace more profound. A fox appears at the edge of the grove. His red coat turns silver blue in the bioluminescent light. He pauses, one paw raised, and his eyes reflect the glow like mirrors. For a long moment, he regards you with calm curiosity, then continues on his way, moving through the forest with fluid grace, disappearing between the trees like a spirit, like a dream. The fireflies continue their slow dance, their numbers seeming to grow rather than diminish with the deepening night. They weave patterns in the air, creating temporary constellations that form and dissolve and form again. Watching them, you feel your thoughts becoming quieter, slower, softer, like the fireflies themselves, flickering and fading into gentle darkness. Your breathing has become perfectly synchronized with the forest, slow and deep, easy and natural. Each inhale brings the sense of earth and growth. Each exhale releases anything you no longer need to carry. The glowing moss beneath you pulses in rhythm with your breath. Or perhaps your breath has fallen into rhythm with the moss. It no longer matters which. Above you, the stars continue to emerge, multiplying across the visible patches of sky. The Milky Way becomes visible, a river of stars that seems to flow in the same direction as the stream you crossed earlier, as though earth and heaven follow the same paths, speak the same language. The forest around you seems to be settling into its deepest rest. The sounds grow even softer, more spaced out. The bioluminescent glow remains constant, steady, a nightlight provided by nature itself. Even the fireflies begin to slow their movements, drifting rather than dancing, their lights pulsing more slowly, more gently. You feel yourself drifting too, not towards sleep exactly, but towards something even more peaceful, a state of perfect rest while remaining aware of this beautiful moment, this emerald sanctuary that has welcomed you so completely. The moss continues to cradle you, soft as clouds, supportive as earth. The air wraps around you like the gentlest blanket, exactly the right temperature, exactly the right weight. The sounds of the forest become a lullaby, the distant whisper of the stream, the soft rustle of leaves, the occasional call of a night bird, all blending into a symphony of perfect peace. Your body has become perfectly relaxed, each muscle releasing its tension, each joint settling into comfortable alignment. You are held, supported, safe. The forest protects you with its ancient presence, watches over you with its gentle light, breathes with you its slow and peaceful breath. The glowing moss pulses slower now, almost imperceptibly, like the breathing of someone deep in sleep. The fireflies have settled into the trees and undergrowth, their lights becoming stationary stars scattered through the forest, marking the boundary between earth and air with their gentle glow. Above, the night sky deepens to its richest shade of indigo, and the stars shine with crystal clarity. A meteor streaks silently across one visible patch of sky, a blessing, a good night wish from the cosmos. You find yourself sinking deeper into the moss, not physically, but in awareness, sinking into comfort, into peace, into a rest so complete that it seems to erase every tiredness you have ever known. The forest holds you as though you are its most precious treasure, as though you have always belonged here, will always be welcome here. The night continues its gentle progression. The moon, unseen but felt, traces its arc above the canopy. The earth turns with imperceptible slowness beneath you. The forest breathes, glows, exists in its timeless perfection. And you are part of it, not separate, not apart, but woven into its fabric, embedded in its story, held in its endless, peaceful embrace. The lights around you seem to be fading now, or perhaps your eyes are simply growing heavier, ready to close, ready to rest. The emerald forest begins to blur at the edges, becoming softer, more dreamlike, transitioning from a place you are visiting to a place you are becoming, a place that exists now, not around you, but within you. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep, so perfectly easy. Each breath is a wave, gentle and rhythmic, and you are floating on these waves, rising and falling, rocking in the cradle of the forest, held in arms of ancient trees, wrapped in the light of glowing moss, blessed by the presence of stars. The last thing you are aware of is the profound peace, the sense that everything is exactly as it should be, that you are exactly where you belong, that this moment is perfect and complete. The forest whispers its final blessing, a rustling of leaves that might be words or might be wind, telling you to rest, to sleep, to dream. And you do. You let yourself sink into the deepest rest, the most peaceful sleep, knowing that the emerald forest will be here still when you wake, that its light will always guide you home, that its peace is always available, always waiting, always welcoming you back. The forest breathes, you breathe, and everything is well. Everything is well. Everything is well. Rest now in the gentle embrace of the emerald forest. Let yourself drift into deep, restorative sleep, held safe in the arms of nature, surrounded by light, wrapped in peace. Sleep well.